Thanks for joining me, everyone. I'd like to share my review of the latest ship to be labeled OP, which was also removed from the store. It will make a return, but we don't know when, how, or what will be changed, if any, upon its return. We also don't know if the current Ark Royal will be nerfed in any way, shape, or form. Now, Tier 4 through Tier 6 is by far my favorite tiers to play. Very profitable, and the gameplay is less conservative than that of Tier 7 and up. So in Tier 5, Ark Royal made enough of a splash that players screamed OP. Kinda like when Weimar hit Tier 6. So I have two battles for you which have been sped up so the video did not end up too long, but enough gameplays that you could see it's not as crazy OP as people may think. Before we get into the ship details, I'd like to share a little background information on wargaming and these controversial carriers. Back in 2015, when PC was released, a division of two carriers could literally decimate an entire team. A good single carrier captain could turn the lights out on most of an enemy team as well. It was so out of balance that it literally caused a mass exodus, which I was a part of. People just got tired of begging for adjustments and balance and nothing being done. Now, fast forward to 2019 when Legends is released. For those who came from the PC version, it was a relief to see no carriers. But through social media, there were those who kept asking for carriers, and then there were those who did not want any part of them because of how out of balance they were in PC. Upon release, there was a ton of complaints about them being OP, which some were valid, but not to the extent of the PC version. And I will add that the PC version did get eventually brought into balance, just like after several nerfs on the Legends version, we now have an acceptable balance. Now they throw Ark Royal in the mix at Tier 5, and let's start with why people may think it is OP. You get 3 torps instead of 2, faster restoration time, a 3-group attack squadron, and HE bombs from hell. Well, yeah, it sounds OP. The thing is, the torps are slow and easy to dodge, the planes are paper, and the restoration time is not fast enough to where you can use full 3 attack group squadrons running into a bunch of battleships huddled together. In the right hands, this can be lethal, but so can any other ship. The thing is about this carrier is that with enough practice, the average person can do good. That does not mean it's OP. All you have to do to counter this ship is just like any other carrier. You have to stay in groups with your allies. When you see torps, brake hard and start turning in. But that's just like any other carrier. Now, when you got HE bombs, as you can see, if you start turning or can somehow skirt it and turn hard, you will make him miss some and maybe even completely depending on his abilities. But they are lethal, as you can see, with enough attempts. Now, I was able to get a Kraken in this battle. I was also able to get my 150th Kraken with Ark Royal. And in the next battle, you'll be able to see that I was able to get a solo warrior. The thing is, this is, again, not an OP ship to where every single time that you go out, that you're just going to get 100k with ease. Because in these 2 battles, you'll see I did not even break 100k. I was able to continuously playing, and I continuously got better at honing those drops, but it really does take practice, and I was able to break 100k but it's not something that is just going to be done every single time for an average player. So with that being said, let's get into some other factors about this ship, and if it does come out again, why you actually do want to grab it. The HE bombers really are the star of the show with Ark Royal. I would definitely set up the commander, and I'll show you that at the end, to be all about, as much as possible, those HE bombs, because that tight cluster, the way it hits a destroyer, if you hit the right point, you could definitely take away almost half his health. Same thing if you're hitting a cruiser, you could take a big chunk off. And if you're coming across these half health ships, you're really being able to drive those final nails into the coffin. So the torpedoes, on the other hand, it really is more of a, as you just saw, he skirted that pretty easy just by turning in. It's really trying to get him almost on the second run with the drop, because half the time they turn into him very easily, but if you whip it right back around, you can normally tag one or two, but as you saw, by the time I got that second group in, I'm losing planes left and right. So going back to the bombers, totally different story. Bam. I mean, you're taking a good chunk off. Got a fire going. Coming back around, I mean, those bombs are definitely very hard to dodge. Bam. Final nail in the coffin, man. I'm telling you, that's the star. So I get why players are really not liking the ship because of those bombs. But again, here you go with the torpedoes. Easily dodged. And there you go. Most of my planes are gone, and voila. So you can see the planes truly are paper. Now, going back over to the bombs. Bam. Took a big chunk off. 2 fires. Swinging it back around. I've got extra HP on those bombers, so they're able to withstand a bit more. Bam. Took another big chunk. Another 2 fires, even though I did pretty much lose the rest of that group. But we went ahead and got him knocked off. So coming out again with the bombers, aiming for that lowest health ship, making sure that we increase that lead and secure that lead. And you can see, bam, 1 drop. So that really is a star, which is in line with the German tech tree carrier and its AP bombers that can get citadel after citadel from the sky. So again, like I said, I just don't really feel the need that it should get nerfed in the way people are calling for. Just play smart, stay in groups, just like any other carrier battle. Play and evade as best as you can, and overcome. But for those who have it, or for those who even have the tech tree counterpart of the Ark Royal, I will go ahead and share the shipping commander setup for you guys. Let's start with the upgrades. I went Flight Control Mod 1 so I could get the additional aircraft restoration time. Went Air Groups Mod 2 for the additional HP on both bombers. Commander, I went Dennis Boyd. And for inspirations, I went Tanaka so that way I could get the extra torpedo damage. And this gentleman, I am not going to try to butcher his name, but you want him for the additional aircraft carrier HE bombs damage. Tree skill, I went No Fly Zone. One-way ticket for more torpedo damage. And this is where I definitely wanted to go perks for those HE bombers. So Out of Sight and Burn Baby Burn. For legendary, I went the Volt so that way I could get additional HP for both bombers. Again, I do run the exact same setup on the tech tree counterpart Furious. And again, both of these ships are great tier 5 carriers. Ark Royal just being a little bit more specialized in the close-knit cluster of those HE bombs and having the third torpedo. But nevertheless, The right person is going to put up 100k plus games in any of these ships, and the average person is not. So I hope that just kind of helps everybody in seeing that it's not as OP as people have made it out to be, and it can be countered with these weak planes. So don't be afraid of it in any way, shape, or form. So I hope that helps. Please don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, stay frosty out there.